very much. It's great to see everyone, and certainly to be here with folks who value smiling and laughter and gratitude. I also want to thank Cameron. Cameron serves as a member of our Business Leadership Council, and so we get to see each other every so often. He was kind enough to invite me to join you this morning. So, a little bit of update about Puget Sound. Let's see if we can make it go. There we go. So we like to start by looking back. This is the master plan for the campus that was originated in the 1920s when the campus moved from where currently Jason Lee Middle School is, which is our original site, up to North 15th and Lawrence. And if you have been to campus, you know that some of it actually looks kind of like that. But some of it has changed quite a bit. And so this fall of 2011, we opened the Bill T. and Gail T. Weyerhaeuser Center for Health Sciences, a beautiful new building that houses our exercise science, psychology, occupational and physical therapy programs. And the building includes classrooms, laboratories, as well as the clinics. Our OT and PT clinics serve pro bono about 300 or more people each year, children and adults, in physical therapy and occupational therapy who need those services. Also, we've completed Commencement Walk, which now unites the whole campus from north to south. So it's a beautiful place to walk. So come visit the campus and really enjoy the beauty of the grounds and take a look at our new facilities. So today, very briefly, and I will move through these quickly, we'll learn a little bit about who we are as a reminder of who's at Puget Sound, some distinctions about our students, some student accomplishments, some challenges we have, and a little bit about what's ahead. We are a four-year liberal arts college offering more than 50 programs, which are both traditional disciplines as well as interdisciplinary programs. Because we're a little larger than many small colleges, we have a rich interdisciplinary curriculum, so things like science, technology, and society, or neuroscience, our humanities program, etc., are interdisciplinary. We also have, as you know, our School of Business and Leadership. As I mentioned, Cameron serves on that council, as well as our School of Music. Our students, we've intentionally kept our enrollment at 2,650 students. 200 of those are graduate students in education, OT, and PT, and the balance are our undergraduates. 76% of our students are from outside the state of Washington. This coming year, we might have a few more from within Washington, which we're glad to see as well. So you can see that they come to us from all across the nation, as well as 14 countries. And yesterday was decision day, so the postmarks are still coming in terms of the fall 2012 class. But our fall 2011 class looked like you see here. We had almost 7,200 applications for 675 seats. We actually enrolled 686. They're very academically qualified. Almost 22% of last year's class was historically underrepresented students, and 17% are first generation. We also have a good economic impact for Tacoma and the Pierce County area. So we have a large number of employees at the university, regular as well as our student employees. We use a lot of students who are work study and other kinds of employees, as well as temporary staff. And so you can see some of the dollars there in terms of the impact of Puget Sound. Sometimes we think we're kind of a small town within the larger city of Tacoma and have an important contribution in those ways. Also, it's interesting to know where our alumni are, and this is a brand new piece that was in the Arches that was just published, our alumni magazine. Our alumni are almost 37,000 in 59 countries around the nation, but nearly half of them are right here within 100 miles of the campus, and so that cluster of neighbors right here who are loggers. There are lots of things that I could talk about in terms of the academic program at Puget Sound, but we are really focusing in our strategic plan in enhancing our global focus so our students are well prepared for the world ahead of them. And so some of the distinctions that you see here, we've added new programs in Asian languages and cultures. So we have over 100 students who are majoring in Chinese and Japanese language at this time, added global development studies, and our faculty, in addition to over 100 providers, third-party providers through which our students study abroad, faculty have recently led their own programs to the countries that you see there: Botswana, Cambodia, China, Indonesia, Japan, Kenya, India, Thailand, and Vietnam. We've made some new hires to increase the global focus of the campus, specifically in Africa and the Middle East and Islamic religions. And some of the notations at the bottom I think are particularly important, that we're among the top 20 baccalaureate institutions in the country for the number of students who study abroad. 42% of our seniors who graduate have studied abroad. And also we're among the top 10 small colleges in the United States in terms of Peace Corps participation, with over 250 alumni having served in the Peace Corps. We also are focusing on our environmental responsibility, so students are well prepared in those areas as well. We've added the environmental studies, or environmental policy and decision-making program in recent years, which began with a very domestic focus and now is broadened with some new hires to have a global focus as well. So Rachel DeMott's, for example, in Global Development Studies has started a field school opportunity for students in Namibia, working with Elephants Without Borders as an example. And some other hires there. Our 5 newest buildings are silver or gold LEED standard in terms of their environmental design. We're working hard on our sustainability tracking and recording system in terms of practices of the campus, and have been supported by the Melvin Foundation and the Luce Foundation, as well as the Russell Family Foundation in some of those projects. We also have a strong science orientation at the college, so scientific innovation with new programs in biochemistry, molecular and cellular biology, and neuroscience, as I mentioned a moment ago. In fact, 1/3 of our students major in the sciences, and so the new Harnett Hall, which opened in 2006, and the Thompson Hall renovation, as well as the Center for Health Sciences, contribute to that. Some of you may not know that we have in the renovated Thompson Hall the 2nd largest natural history museum in the Northwest, second to the Burke. There are 85,000 specimens there, largely focused on Northwest natural history. And in the last few years, we've really focused on making that more available to local students. So this year, more than 1,500 middle schoolers have come to the museum and have had kits prepared for their teachers, so the teachers can plan lessons prior to the students then coming to campus to visit the museum. But you're welcome to visit as well, and it's kind of an interesting and distinctive feature of the campus. We are very excited about the new hire in neuroscience. The Jenny Carruthers Chair is our first endowed chair in the current capital campaign. And we've hired a number of scientists this year, including a Rhodes Scholar physicist. Again, some recognitions, foundation support from Sherman Fairchild, the Murdoch Charitable Trust, the National Institutes of Health, and National Science Foundation, both for faculty projects as well as other growth in the sciences. And interestingly, we are among the top 50 liberal arts colleges in terms of being origin institutions for PhD scientists. A lot of people don't realize that liberal arts colleges generally in this country are the strongest source of PhD scientists. And so folks who start in small colleges with that strong scientific background were able then to go on to the larger research institutions for their advanced degrees. And finally, to highlight that we are indeed civically engaged, President Ron Thomas has really brought this stronger emphasis to our campus. And so the civic scholarship projects, there are many of them, but some of you may know the considerable work on the Road Home project by our faculty and students. There have been more than 75 students involved in the scholarship and work to reduce homelessness or eliminate homelessness in Pierce County. Folks involved with the Xenolenic project, and we're proud too to be partners with TAM in the Hide-Seek exhibit that's currently here, and to be part of Project Muse. The Race and Pedagogy Initiative has also been very active. Last Saturday was a youth and family summit at Lincoln High School, great attendance and great energy to help students think ahead to college and to close that achievement gap. And next October, on the 6th of October, we'll also be hosting a social justice summit by Race and Pedagogy, which focuses on students who have parents in prison or other issues of social justice that are related to race and achievement. And the Sound Policy Institute is a third strong element here with focus on the environment. So again, there are a lot of initiatives, just a couple highlighted here. The Green Tacoma Partnership, working with a number of community agencies to protect and advance our green spaces here in Tacoma. And this spring, a special feature on food supplies and food sources entitled The Menu for the Future. A couple notes just on our students. We're really proud this spring to recognize these 16 students, more than any number in the past, who've achieved these national and international fellowships. A few of them, the Goldwater and the Udall, are undergraduate awards that will help those students in the sciences to continue their work in Puget Sound. The others are graduates who are going all over the world to teach and to do research, supported by things like the Fulbrights and the other awards that you see here. We're also proud of our business students, our undergraduates, who you see here. Actually beat out 5 MBA level teams to advance to New York competitions sponsored by the Chartered Financial Analyst Society of Seattle. And so they're very excited to be going off to that competition. You can see that our students are very successful in their applications to law school and medical school. A member of our football team is off to the University of Washington Dental School this fall, and one of our track and field athletes is actually accepted to all 13 of the law schools to which he applied, and so he's off. They are just amazing. They are really just amazing. And again, Puget Sound is one of the top 50 baccalaureate colleges in the country in terms of research doctorates overall over the last decade. So I just can't say enough in terms of the amazing quality and the accomplishments of our students. We do have some challenges, as lots of people do, in terms of what the impact of the recession on liberal arts colleges and colleges generally. I want you to read from the left on this, I guess it would be your right on this slide, just to see a hint at the difference between the level of need that students present as they come to our university. In 2006-07, 57% of our students qualified for financial need, and last year 68%. And you can see that the amount of need has grown significantly. And of course, we know the reasons for this, the impact of on home equity values, the impact on investments and savings that people have had, and the impact of unemployment. And so a lot of folks don't realize that the proportion of students at Puget Sound is that high in terms of those qualifying for financial need, and actually 97% of our students receive financial aid to Puget Sound. When you hear folks talk about the discount rate, and I know NPR has had stories kind of each morning this week related to that topic, but that is essentially a calculation of the tuition price less the financial aid that's awarded. And so this is a national graph of small private colleges in terms of the proportion of tuition that is returned in financial aid to students. So when you see that 45% number over on the far right, that means that on average, private colleges are returning 45 cents on the dollar of their tuition to financial aid to enable students to attend. And so we're at about 42 cents on the dollar as of last year. So that's a challenge for us because, and for other colleges, because that as it has increased in terms of student need, it puts pressure on the budget. So we've tried to be conservative in terms of addressing costs. And what you need to understand from this graph is that these are cumulative. So on the left-hand side, you can see that we held the increase in tuition down, and increasingly small. The tuition rate of increase for next year is the lowest tuition increase in 40 years. At the same time, the green graphs are the increases in the percentage of financial aid. So in proportion, those percentages are going up much higher. And the purple, I think it looks like, is our operating budget costs and ways to keep those down. We've actually cut our operating budget by over $2.5 million in order to try to reduce the cost for students, even as we put additional dollars into financial aid. So what's ahead? We have our capital campaign underway. We went public with that in October of this year. We're $78 million toward the $125 million goal. It's the one-of-a-kind campaign, and folks who support Puget Sound have been very instrumental in getting us closer toward that goal. The biggest proportion of that is for student financial aid. You might see some friends there, including our newest trustee, Lyle Closet. We are looking forward, in terms of what's ahead, to a sunny commencement on Mother's Day. Last year wasn't quite so sunny, but we're always outdoors, and the students like it even when it's pouring in the rain, which it was last year. And we're looking forward next March. St. Patrick's Day is Puget Sound's birthday, and next year we celebrate our 125th birthday as a university here in Tacoma, Washington. So that's just a very brief and quick overview of some things that have been happening at Puget Sound, and I'm happy to answer any questions related to content there or other things that may be on your mind.